Hello. You're back again for another segment of Women of Wisdom. I'm Judge Mablean from Justice with Judge Mablean, sitting here with my Diva sisters. Today, we're going to talk about parenting or what it's like to have children in the industry. My child is in the industry is Tashamika Paxton, better known in the industry as Taj Paxton. She's vice president of documentary films for Logo Television. Recently won her fifth Emmy Award for documentary films. She's been in the industry about 30, almost 30 years, believe it or not. No, 20 plus years. And she was in the industry before me, and I've been in it since 1998, so that's 21 years. She's probably been in it almost 30 years. What's it like? And all of my Diva sisters here have children in the industry, starting with Miss Constance.
Okay. Hi, my name is Constance Moorer, and I am the mother of, it's great to be here with the Women of WOW, and looking out at you guys today, I'm just really honored to be here, and I consider it a blessing. Yeah, I'm the mother of Lana Moorer, also known as McLyte. And she is my one and only. I call her my little darling daughter. She's my angel on earth. She started out as a rapper. She is still a rapper. She writes. She's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a writer, a producer, an actress, businesswoman, lecturer, motivational speaker.
This is a bad girl.
She's bad, not a general. Yes, she is. She's the founder of Hip Hop Sisters, along with the co-founder, Dr. Lynn Richardson. And she's also the the founder of Sunny Girl. And
Sunny Girl Productions.
Sunny Girl Productions. Thank you. And I think she also has a foundation, which is part of Hip Hop Sisters, where they send young men and women to college also, full scholarships. So I think that's it for now.
Hi.
How about you?
How about me? Hi. My name is Evelyn Braxton from the Braxton Family Values. I have 6 kids, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to mention all of them. You should know them. And if you don't,
It's shame on you.
yes. How about that? But I'm very proud of them. Of course, they are in the entertainment world. They all sing, they all write, they do movies, and it's just a lot. And you know what? I'm not going to take the whole time talking about my 6 kids, because I would have to talk about them individually, and I don't want to do that. Go ahead, Bev.
All right. And so,
Yeah, I got 6, Maybelline. You got yours. You got your one. Come on now, guys. I'll be here all day. Just move then. I'll just take the whole thing. Anyway.
We know how to keep you in place. In line.
Go ahead, Bev.
okay. So you all talking over me now, not Constance, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay. My name is Beverly Haqq, and I have my twin daughters, Khadijah and Malika, actresses, very good businesswomen, doing some modeling, doing lots of things right now. You might know them from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They've done Hollywood Divas and other forums, but they started really young, just modeling. They were the Sears catalogs and the all these stores back in the day. And working on a lot of independent projects right now, along with cosmetic lines. So I'm very proud of them. They're business women too. I always told them, even you're in the acting field, you should always have something that you've created of your own, something that you can work on, use your own creative skills, work on something else, or other forms of income. Because you sit and wait for the call.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and wait for the call.
The call.
Absolutely.
It's the kind of industry, and many people have done that. And, there are times when you're not working, you are working, so you have to create and do a whole lot of praying. That's all I always tell them, do a whole lot of praying, because I pray for them each and every day. So, proud
So
of
what's
them.
it like having these children in the industry? what's the pros and cons? I know there's so many people out there, they're dreaming of getting into Hollywood. You talk to every little kid, there's one in every family that wants to go to Hollywood, and they all want to go on the entertainment side and not behind the scenes. So what I have discovered, my daughter is more behind the scenes. She's not an actress. She's a producer, writer, director. She started out wanting to be in front before, and I'll never forget when she came home from Georgetown College with her, what do you call it, the pictures, her promo pictures. And I looked at this picture and I said, who is that woman? She said, Mommy, that's me. They had made her up so that I didn't even recognize her. And I said, so what is this all about? I'm going to go out looking for movies and trying to get parts in television. I said, I paid for Georgetown University for you to get parts in television and for you to be an actress and for you to go and struggle and beg for a part and be broke most of the time and unemployed after I spent all that money for Georgetown and made all those sacrifices. Now, that's how I felt about my daughter getting in the industry. She started out in that. She didn't stay in it long. She got wise and said, I'm going behind the scenes into the production part of it. So she was the vice president of Forrest Whitaker Productions, Spirit Entertainment for a while. And she's worked at MTV and she's worked at Paramount, I believe. I don't know where she's worked, but now she's over in the documentary film division of Logo. And I'm telling you, being a parent of a person in the industry, for me, I had to understand because I'm used to people having a job, quote unquote. And by job, when we think of jobs, we mean get up in the morning, go to work, be at work at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, come back home at 5. And all of our family, and that's the way we were raised, you should have a job, although I didn't fit the mold. I had a job for 5 years and then I went on my own. So it was hard for me to fathom this industry that requires you to go out and seek employment and try out for parts and get rejected 99% of the time, and be employed today and making a good living, but then the studio is sold, then the officers change, it's a new president, it's a new vice president, it's a new this, it's a new that, you gotta go. And it's just like, it was hard because I didn't want my child to be broke and I didn't want her to not have money and I didn't want her struggling. But she struggled in the industry like that from one job to the other until she's gotten to Logo TV for the last, I believe, 4 or 5 years and seems to have found her place as a producer of documentary film because she gets to work on films. She chooses films that deal with issues that are near and dear to her, and it helps others, and it raises people's awareness of the LGBTQ community. It raises people's awareness of people's struggle to get jobs and people's contribution to America. So I'm very proud of her, but I'm telling you, for a while, it was like, girl, you better go get a job because I'm tired of paying your bills and I'm tired of you staying at home with me. And then I hated when she was disappointed when she didn't get something or when the company downsized and she had to, she was what do you call it? Fired, terminated, whatever. And I just felt so bad, all that rejection. It's like, oh, wow, how can one do that?
That was a concern for me, too, because even I went as far as taking them to school and thinking they're going into nursing or something. I was trying to, at that point, I knew it was I just knew it was in them to do that. And so initially when they did the print work, just the TV, because each time, even my daughter went with me, because she was in college, and she was like, yeah, we'll just go and just talk to the counselor or whatever. But I knew deep down inside they were doing this, like thinking, oh, well, I'll do it because Mom says let's go do this, but that wasn't what their heart was on. And I knew I cannot decide for you. Can I decide for your children what field they choose to, because we may see it one way, but you have to let them venture out and learn it for themselves. You can advise them.
But you started, you put them in the modeling, didn't you?
They were in modeling, but I thought they were babies at the time. They were small. They were very small children. But at that time, even in doing that, I pulled them out. Even if they got in elementary school, I pulled them out.
Oh, okay.
They got in a they wanted to go to performing arts school. So when they got back in middle school, everyone around them were going to auditions. And that's when it kicked off. They realized, Mom, this is what we really want to do. I said, well, I support you in whatever you need to do.
Really?
And then they, it was kind of it was a bittersweet thing because I knew there would be a lot of rejection. I knew too many other people in the industry, and they would tell their stories, and I've been seeing their stories, and so for me it was kind of a hurtful. They would think they would go to all these auditions or get the last call, and then they wouldn't get it.
Right.
Those kinds of
A
things.
lot of
And I tell you,
rejection.
when they finally got a movie, ATL, any other movie, I was like thrilled to death. But I told them then, I said, God, if I have different forms of, even at certain points, they were working 9 to 5s. They were
Right.
at certain point, they're like working in a department store. I mean, they did all of that.
Right.
So you have to make it for, make your way. And I know what I think is what I think, what they feel and what they know they want to do with their life is what they want to do.
Yeah.
But as a parent, you always feel that feeling of, oh, my baby's being hurt because they didn't get that part, or they, but that's part of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's part of life.
Yeah. They can't go out. Well, mine is, like I said, on being in the, as they call it, the suit side, since she's on the executive side, she doesn't face as much of not being able to go out, being mobbed by the public, or being talked about by the public. Ooh, this social media stuff now, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that's tough.
Ooh, having children in the industry now that there is social media. Now, as I said, my daughter's executive side, but my friends over here, my sister girls, their children are on the other side. When I read negative stuff about my nieces and nephews, ooh, that make me mad. I have to get off social media. I can't go to their pages because I can't handle it. I get angry and upset for them. They probably just let it roll
Sometimes
off like water,
I just don't
but I
read
just
them.
can't do it because people are so mean and so
They are.
cruel, and they say such vicious things. It's like, why are you talking about my child like that?
But when you know who you are, it doesn't really matter. And if you know what you do, and you're walking in your calling, and you're walking in your purpose, and you're walking in your talents and your gifts, if they're not talking about you, it's something bad or something going on anyway. So when they stay focused, that's what I love about children in the industry who wear all the hats, as you said, or they use all the resources, they use all their creativity, and just let go and let God, So I'm speaking here, I'm writing here, I'm doing this, and I'm handling all of it. And so this way, the iron is here, and it's going to come. It's all going to come. It's all preparation to be ready for the success. Lana, at like 3-4 years old, you couldn't come in my house unless she picked
MC
up the
Lyte.
Okay, MC Lyte. You couldn't come in the house unless she picked up the hairbrush and started singing for you. I always thought she was going to be a singer. So when she started rapping, I was like, really? Okay. Well, why do you have to curse? That's MC Lyte. She would break it separate. Oh, MC Lyte curse. I don't curse. I was like, oh, okay.
That's what she'd say.
Psych me out.
I like
cute.
that.
That's cute.
I like
So
that.
then she couldn't get a whipping. That's MC Lyte cussing, not Lana, right?
That is not Lana.
Separate them, the alternate. So, and just being able to see her vision, even though I may not have been in agreement, I had to take the chance. When her manager came to me and said, she was 16, so she's been in the industry a long time now also.
Wow.
And he came to me and he said, you know what, she has to go overseas. And she had just got out, she graduated out of high school early, the ones who were like 16.
So did mine. That's another thing we have in common. She graduated at 16.
Yeah, so she was good and ready to go, and then she went overseas, and it's been hot and popping ever since then.
You didn't go with her?
No, I didn't. Matter of fact, no, I didn't go with her. I
See,
had to
that's the
work.
part I don't like
I
about the
had-
industry.
I hovered. I'm sorry.
That's
I
the
was
part I don't
everywhere.
like.
She had good people around her. She had her best
They
friend
didn't have to
was
pay me
with
to go
her.
with her.
She had chaperones. Yeah, she was cool. And you know what? Like they say in the Bible and scriptures, bring up a child as they should go. Bring up a child and train them up as they go, and they will not depart from their ways. So she, it's just certain things that I could trust her in. She had that focus that this is exactly what she wanted to do. I wanted her to go to a school in a neighborhood that supposedly had better schools, more opportunities. And so you know how you can cheat and do a mail and address. Or you send
Oh,
it to
cheat.
here.
God, you must not have read about that scandal.
That was years ago.
Oh.
This was years ago. Okay, but I didn't do
Everybody
it.
did that stuff.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
Everybody
you know?
didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, well.
No, I'm just saying a lot of people did it, like you were saying. Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, she didn't. She had already had a plan, because I had to pull her out of public school and put her in private school because she was getting ready to get a dirty, rotten deal. You know, like that self-fulfilling prophecy. When her teachers had a gripe with me and said, "Oh, that Lana Moore is just like her mother, big mouth." And she was in a class that they were all ahead, and so they were yakety,
wow.
yakety, 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 yak, you know, yeah. So I knew
You
I
had a
to
big
get her
mouth
out
at
there.
school?
Yeah, not like her, but
Not like her? I doubt that.
hers was leading to
Oh,
you know, in the long run. But yeah, so anyway, you know, I agreed to let her go. She was on her way to Hunter College. Then she went like 2 days, and she was off and running ever since with the tours and you know, things like that.
I could let my daughter go to college at 16, but I couldn't have let her go. Now, this is the downside to me, and I haven't personally experienced it, but I know a lot of people who have. I don't like the industry part that when they have children, minor children, and young children, especially minor children, because the adults can make up their own mind. But I don't like the part, it seems to me, that they try hard to separate the parents and keep the parents out of it and don't want the parents to stay and be involved. And they know these children don't understand the money matters. They don't understand all the legalities. And then when they're out there without parents, and they're more susceptible to molestation, to rape, to people using them, misusing them, mistreating them, abusing them. My daughter told me of one instance when she went for it was part of like the Me Too movement, but fortunately she was bold enough when she went into the producer's office for this interview, and he started talking other stuff, that she was bold enough to leave, because I was like, don't you let anybody do that to you. But see, that's the part that frightens me about children in the industry. And it seems the industry forces the parents out. And they don't want you there to protect your child. They make your child vulnerable. I haven't experienced it from that side. Does that really happen? And do you feel, or have you ever had that feeling?
I just didn't allow it. It was just always, I didn't have anyone. There were times when they were what, in Georgia, Huntsville, whatever. They were different places. I would go. And I was in communication always with production or whoever, because I just had never allowed my kids to just go and be with other people like that. And so, and it wasn't, I didn't trust my kids. It was, I don't trust them. I don't know who the them are. So I'm just saying, my whole thing was, so I will be going. You know that, right? Oh, sure. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I would just, for me, it was just not comfortable for me just to send them off or send, even when they were like 19 years old, they were out doing a movie, I went. Because and my daughters were like, Mom, you going? They wanted me to go. They wanted me to go. They would say, Mom, you going? You know, they're going to give us a rent-a-car, whatever. You can do whatever while we're shooting. I said, no, I'll be right on the set, sitting right here, like this. I'll be sitting right here watching.
Actually, with my kids, I didn't trust anybody but Jesus.
Name of Jesus.
My children have been singing from the crib. And so they would go all over different churches, different places, different organizations, singing, okay? As they grew, Toni went solo, which was a great thing for her. And all of them was in the music business. And so I was there. Even when they went on their first tour with Frankie Beverly, I was right there. You know, they used to call the tour the Sanctified Tour because I used to pray a lot. You know, they had problems, they would come in and I would pray for them.
You used to pray a lot, you don't do that no more?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. I just
You know,
just
I'm
test
hanging out with you. I have to pray.
Just test it.
Look at
Just
God.
test- You said I used to pray a lot. I was just wondering what you're doing now.
Well, I used to pray without ceasing.
There you go.
Like 24, seemed to me, 24 hours a day it
You
seemed
need
like.
to cover
you know?
those children with the
I
blood.
stayed
the blood,
really
yeah.
thin because I used to fast as well as
pray.
pray.
Right.
Okay. So now that they are adults, I still pray. I can tell you that right now.
It's even more.
Because them grand.
So
Well, not as
Every
much.
much.
when they were younger. Not as much. Not as much when they were younger on the road. Because I didn't trust anyone.
But you traveled with them.
I traveled
don't blame
for
you.
many years. I even managed them for a while.
Yeah.
And then when they got so big, I couldn't do it.
Right.
Because I didn't have the insight for it. I
skills.
didn't have the connections.
Connections.
Right.
And you need
Exactly.
connections.
You hear
in
that,
this
parents?
business.
You need
Absolutely.
connections in this
You
business.
need connections.
Connections.
Okay?
There's more to it than what you see.
Exactly. And your head have to be on straight. As Constance said, train a child in the way that they should go when they grow old. They will not depart from you. That doesn't mean they're going to always do the right things.
Right.
That doesn't mean that.
Right.
However, there's a voice in their head saying,
Absolutely.
oh, maybe I better not do that.
They'll go to a certain
They
point.
will- Exactly. And then they will pull back like, But the business is treacherous.
It is.
I'm just telling you right now.
It's true.
We may love our children, but the world don't.
All they love
right.
is
The green
what can
stuff.
they do to make us more money. And parents, if you're thinking about putting your children in the industry, or if your children are thinking about going into the industry, they need to be aware that the industry is a business.
It's a business.
And the whole
it is.
point of the business is to make money, and your child becomes a commodity. Realize that your child is a commodity.
That's all.
Absolutely.
I had to realize that. I didn't realize that about myself when I got in the industry. And I took my grandchildren, I'm on divorce court, and I took my grandchildren to the water slide park, wherever it was. I think one of those water parks, because I'm a big kid at heart. And we out there in the water parks, and we riding the raft, and we doing this, and we sliding down the big slide, and we doing all of this. And all of a sudden, the raft tips over, and I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh, no, girl. How shoulder doing
Dislocated my shoulder playing with the grandchildren.
See.
And I'm on divorce court. I go back to work 3 days later, this weekend, right? And I'm in a sling. My producer said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I was out with the grandkids. I'm in a sling." She says,
You still have to work.
so you're in a sling and you got to wear a robe. You realize that when you wear the robe with the sling, we got to do some readjusting of the cameras. We got to do readjusting of the lighting. We got to get you a bigger robe so that your arm will go under that robe, and it just changes the whole atmosphere. And I was like, "What you talking about?" She says, "You're a commodity."
Absolutely.
That's what she said. You're a commodity.
Absolutely.
You know, you belong to us. You can't do anything that's going to change the image,
dynamics.
the perception, all of this while you're doing this show. And I was like, wow, really?
Truth be told.
So I can't go out with my yeah, you can go out with them, but you better not get hurt.
Absolutely.
But you know, so that is that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that you have to be concerned. Your children are a commodity. They want to know. They want to use their, well, not want to, they use their gifts and talents to make money, and in return, they pay them money. But there's a price to be paid
Absolutely.
to make the money.
And
Right, and
also,
times have
it's
changed
not-
now. Times have
sorry, go ahead.
okay. Times have really, really changed. You know, we lived in New York. We had to ride the subway. She had to go to school. She had to get in an after-school program because I was going to school. You would say, I would never let my daughter or my child ride a train at 8 years old. But let me tell you, we learn how to be tough up there. You learn how to be
was a
tough. You gotta
latchkey
let
kid.
go.
Your baby was on the
she
train
was
by
on the
herself
train
at 8?
8 years old, coming home from school. It was, you know, it was daylight enough.
what you need to
It's
do.
enough. At some point, you have to be trusted. Or if not, I couldn't finish school. She couldn't go to school. I don't know where we would be. I had to survive. So, you know, I feel a little bit beat on that I let her from the group right now. That you let your baby do the
Wait a
Who
minute,
said that? Nobody said
minute. Don't start.
Well, you said I would never, ever, never.
That was not the
but-
group. That was me.
Hit her with this.
That was me, okay? Just leave it to me. I said it, and I
okay,
was,
but no, but I got it.
no.
I got it from
Hit
all
her
three.
anyway.
I
I
was
I wasn't,
honest.
but I wasn't
Honest.
beating you up. I wasn't beating you up. I was
I
asking.
felt like
I was
that.
asking a question.
Okay.
Because knowing you now, I can't believe knowing.
Don't say that now.
No.
I did it.
Nobody.
I know
beat
how to
you
get
up.
attention.
I got
in
a
this
stroke.
place. Start blaming people.
See?
Who blamed?
No.
No, but seriously, I
do
had
what you
to.
have-
I
Hit
had
her.
to. I had to play the.
There you go.
I had to play. My grandmother, she said, "Put your hand out."
Yeah.
Laugh at her.
Put your hand
It was
out.
a big joke. You know. Yeah, but seriously,
Uh-huh.
I had to let go. I didn't have too much of a choice.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it's not that I couldn't get sitters or whatever, but she needed to be with me. It was an after-school program that was part of my program. I went to a program that accepted only 13 people out of the state, where they did an accelerated program for medical transcriptionists, which maybe your medical secretary, medical assistant, or whatever. And it was a program that took 2 years that we did in 9 months under the most adverse circumstances.
Right.
We got tested in every subject every day. We had to be in a room where there was no air conditioning in the hot summer. It was, and I mean, it just, they really put the
You
pressure
hear
on
that?
a
It
lot.
means sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
That's right. So I had to sacrifice. She had to sacrifice. So if she grew up a little, very mature, not a little, way ahead of the top of the bunch, you know, because she had to take on responsibilities
Right.
also. So, you know, I have to give the credit.
So people listen. Sometimes you have to make everybody wants stuff quick, microwave. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and people
Absolutely.
don't want to sacrifice these days. You got to give up something in order to get something better.
And know the times that we are in. Right now, there's a lot of things I wouldn't have done that way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Different
Right.
times.
Times have
like,
changed in a
different
lot of ways.
situations.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But then I also found out in this business that it's not what you're worth, it's what you negotiate. Now, you may be worth $250,000, but if you negotiate $50,000, that's what you get.
If you don't know how
So
to
be-
negotiate,
Right.
So be anxious for nothing. Get
Absolutely.
yourself a lawyer.
Get you a
Let them
lawyer.
go over that contract.
Yes, definitely.
Don't be so fast because you want to be an overnight star. It doesn't happen that way.
it's hard work.
Okay, very hard work. And then here you are, a star, probably number one, but you're only getting $50,000
Because you didn't know
and
how to
they've
negotiate.
gotten rich
Negotiate.
off of you.
That's right.
And
Well,
here's-
I'm worth this, I'm worth that. It's what you have negotiated.
That's right.
And that's another thing, parents, you need to understand. And you need to, if your child is thinking about going in the industry or you want your child to go into the industry, you need to get some books and learn about how the music industry works, how the entertainment industry works. You need to get some business principles. That's why so many entertainers, the managers get the money and steal the money. The accountant gets the money and steal the money. And that's because we have not learned how to handle money. And we don't know anything about money. Most of us are not born with money. And when you're not born with money, you don't really understand the art of money. So you need to get you some books so you can understand understand finances. Take you some courses in business organization. Take you some courses in management. Take some courses in business finance. Make sure, let me tell you, this is what I can't understand about people in the industry. Every record company, every movie studio, every television studio has a cast of lawyers sitting there protecting them, and they have written these contracts all in their favor. And you, straight out of high school, in high school, rarely know how to read and write, but you have a talent and you have a gift, and now they want to sign you as a singer, as an artist. You don't have a clue about that. They give you a contract. You better find and hire an attorney. We don't do that. We don't protect ourselves. We listen to the manager. Oh, you'll be all right. You need your own attorney that's working for you. If they all have attorneys working for them, you need somebody working for you. And that's one of the mistakes that, you know, black parents or parents, I don't know, I'm saying black because my children black and that's who I deal with, but parents make when you put children in the business that you have absolutely no idea of how it's run.
But when you first get started, you're going to be had, as they call it. You're going to be had, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's just it's the law of the business.
Right, and you have to be willing to make some investments also. So you think you're skimping because you don't get an attorney, or you're skimping, or you're
Right.
saving because you don't get an accountant,
better pay
or a
those
financial
fees.
planner, a
Right.
financial advisor.
Right.
Because what happens is the money is coming, you know, and
Right.
you're influenced by the worldly goods and the material things. So you're buying this and you're buying that, and living above your means and over the means and this and that and the other. And before you know it,
Money
you're either
gone.
bankrupt or the money is gone. you know. But sometimes the rich live like they're frugal. You know?
Frugal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Frugal. Right.
And we spend
and we spend
because we want to
Yeah.
show off.
Show off with the
Yeah.
designer bags, like Dr. Lynn Richardson says. If you don't buy that designer bag, if you don't have as much money to put in the bag, you know.
It
What the
makes
bag
sense.
costs, if you don't have that much money to put in the bag, don't buy that bag.
Don't buy that.
Right. It
Well,
makes sense.
people, thank you so much for tuning in
Thank you.
for the Wow
Women
Wow,
of
women
wisdom.
of
Women of
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
It should
Check
be
us
wow,
out.
women
Keep
of
checking us
wisdom.
out. Okay?
Wow.
Wow.
Women
Yes.
of wisdom. I'm Judge Mablean from Justice with Judge Mablean.
And I'm Constance Moorer.
And I'm the beautiful Evelyn Braxton.
Lord, okay. Beverly Haqq. How do I follow that?
You don't.
But I did it.